and then the ankle and the foot. On inspection of the vein in standing position, first note the site and extent of the varicosity and whether it conforms to the anatomical path of the long or short saphenous veins. Long saphenous varicosities run from the front of the medial malleolus upwards along the anteromedial aspect of the leg, knee and the thigh to end at the saphenous opening just below the inguinal ligament. The short saphenous varicosities run over the posterior aspect of the calf to converge and end at the center of the popliteal fossa. Some varicosities may not conform to these anatomical pathways and are termed as stray varicosities. So inspect the long saphenous system, the short saphenous system and their relation to the present varicosity. For this, you must examine the leg from all the sides, front and back. Now inspect the length of the varicose vein for a blowout or a localized bulge in the vein indicating incompetent perforator. This is a blowout in the leg. In this patient, 2 blowouts are seen in the thigh. When a blowout is seen, mark it with a skin pencil. Next, inspect the saphenous opening below the inguinal ligament for a saphena varix. Saphena varix is a blowout over the saphenofemoral junction and it indicates saphenofemoral valve incompetence. If a saphena varix is seen, ask the patient to cough and look for a visible cough impulse. Now look for dilated veins over the lower abdomen above the inguinal ligament converging onto the saphenous opening. These are the superficial circumflex iliac, superficial inferior epigastric and superficial external pudendal veins which enter the long saphenous vein just before it joins the femoral vein. Now raise the leg to 60 degrees and check whether the varicosity collapses or not. An uncomplicated varicose vein will always collapse on raising the leg, but if it is secondary to pelvic vein thrombosis or arteriovenous fistula in the leg, then it will not collapse when the leg is raised. Holding the leg elevated to 30 degrees or more, ask the patient to cough and look for a cough impulse at the saphenous opening. If a saphena varix is present, it will be seen to bulge out and a retrograde venous pressure wave will be seen to rise in the empty vein and fall slowly. This is Morris's test. Positive Morris's test indicates incompetency of saphenofemoral valve. Note again the retrograde venous pressure wave which rises up on coughing and then slowly falls. Now we will inspect the ankle and the foot. Inspect the medial aspect of the ankle for ankle flare or the venous flare. It is a diffuse soft swelling or fullness with small subcutaneous dilated venules around the ankle, usually filling the hollow between the medial malleolus and the heel. Note the tiny subcutaneous dilated venules. Ankle flare is seen in association with incompetency of ankle perforators. Now inspect the skin over the medial aspect of the lower third of the leg for pigmentation, edema, oozing or ulceration. These are changes in the skin due to the back pressure in the veins and capillaries which forces the RBCs out of the vessel walls. The RBCs are broken down by macrophages and from the breakdown products of hemoglobin, hemosiderin produces black pigmentation while biliverdin produces irritation and itching leading to dermatitis. Note the typical dark pigmentation and dermatitis over the medial aspect of the ankle and the lower third of the leg and the varicose veins in the upper part of the leg. In this patient, we see a typical varicose ulcer. Note its typical location over the medial aspect of the lower third of the leg also termed as the gaiter area. Then note the surrounding dark pigmentation and the dilated veins. Varicose ulcer is more commonly seen after deep vein thrombosis and sometimes with primary varicose veins. Deep vein thrombosis damages the walls of the deep veins of the leg, so the blood is pumped into the superficial veins, particularly on the medial side where the perforating veins are situated. This is another large varicose ulcer over the medial aspect of the ankle, surrounded by dark pigmentation and dermatitis. Note that the varicose ulcers are always superficial, painless, with ragged, irregular edges and unhealthy granulations. They never penetrate the deep fascia. If varicose ulcer or severe dermatitis is seen, note whether the foot shows a talipes equinus deformity and whether the patient walks limping on the toes. Note the talipes equinus deformity due to contracture of the soft tissues on the medial aspect of the ankle due to a chronic varicose ulcer. To revise, on inspection, first inspect the vein for the site, extent and anatomical relation of the vein. Look for blowouts, saphena varix and dilated veins over the lower abdomen. Then raise the leg to 60 degrees to check whether the varicosity collapses and ask the patient to cuff looking for retrograde venous pressure wave, that is Morris's test. Now inspect the ankle and the lower third of the leg for ankle flare, hyperpigmentation of the skin, edema, dermatitis or ulceration, and if a varicose ulcer be present, look for talipes equinus deformity of the ankle. Now let us proceed to